Hello, my name is Ioannis Dizoglu. In this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to create query designs. Then I'm going to show you how to implement your query designs into your Microsoft Access database or to any of your databases, relational databases. In this case I'm using Microsoft Access. If you're using MySQL or SQL Server or Oracle, you will be able to follow exactly the same process in creating the query designs. Now, the first query design I'm going to create, it's going to be a query which will allow users to find a specific title of their students. So I'm just going to rename this. I'm going to name this as QRY. So it's good practice to start queries with the extension QRY. Miss Students. So I want to find in this query all the students where the title is Miss. So if I go to my actual database here and I double click and open my students table, let's go there, I will be able to actually see that I've got David, I've got Saima, I've got Jenny, Alex and Mark. Now ID number 3, let's go here for the title. ID number 3 is Miss. Okay, so I want to make sure my query design will actually display Miss instead of actually number 3, because the ID doesn't mean anything to the end user. So let's go back to my query design. This query will use, now I need to basically replace all this red text here. With this query will use the TBL title and the TBL student details, and it will search through to find all records that match the query condition. Let's delete all that. Now my query condition, I need to create now the query condition. So I specify on this query, I specify that I need to use the table title and the table students. Let's remove the E there. So the students table, student details, and the TBL title. Okay, so here I need to put a list of my arguments. So I only have one argument here. First of all, I need to specify where the actual table name. So I'm going to say TBL student details dot. After the dot, let's zoom in a bit. Okay. After the dot, I need to specify the actual attribute. So I want the title ID FK. Now the title ID FK is the attribute here. Okay. And I want to basically make sure that this is equals to, let's go back to the TBL title. I need to look for all the IDs that basically matching Miss, the title Miss. So it's number 3. So say equals to 3. All right. So I've created my argument here. Let's remove the extra spaces. Here, these fields needs to be displayed for the records that are found. So I'm going to remove this now and I'm going to replace it with the fields that I want to find. So I'm going to copy this. So the first thing I need to do is basically point which table I'm looking at. So the TBL student details. So I want to display the name from the TBL student details. Also, I'm going to put dot here. I want the mobile number. Okay, so if I go back here, let's go to the design view so we can actually see here all the attributes. All right, so I need the mobile number. Then I need dot the email address. And also I need notes, the notes attribute. Then I need to specify the TBL title here. So I will say TBL title. And then I'm going to say dot. Then I need to specify the attribute. The attribute I'm looking at is the name. So name. Okay. Let's remove the extra spaces. The records that needs to be sorted into, let's remove that. So let's sort the data into ascending order. Ascending order of, and I'm gonna put the actual name. So here, I'm gonna copy this. Okay, TBL details dot name. Okay, so now I'm gonna just highlight all this and make sure all the text is black. Let's maximize this. Okay, so let's make this bold. So this is the table name. It's easier for the developer to actually see where we pointed at. So we pointed to the table followed by the attribute. Okay. Oops. Condition. That's better. All right. So my first query is created. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go ahead. Let's minimize anything else. I'm going ahead now and basically create my query. Again, you don't have to do this. You can create all your queries first, and then you can actually implement them. But in this case, I'm just going to do this because this video tutorial is for educational purposes. So then you can actually see exactly what I've done. So it will be easier for you later on when I'm going to create the rest of the queries to understand why it is important for us to make sure that we have the query design in the first place. So I'm just going to go to create on my Microsoft Access database and then select query design. Okay. So here I need two tables. So let's zoom out a bit. Okay. So I need two tables here. I need the TBL title. So I'm going to double click on the TBL title. Okay. So I've got the TBL title and I need the TBL student details. So I'm going to double click on the TBL student details. And as you can see, I've got the relationship already in place. Let's increase the size here. Now, what I need here, I need this attribute. So from the TBL student details, I need these four attributes. So I need the name. I'm going to double click on the name. I need the mobile number, and I'm going to double click on the mobile number. I need the email address. I'm going to double click on the email address. And I need the notes. I'm going to double click on the notes. And finally, from the TBL title, as you can see, TBL title, I need the name. I'm going to double click on the name. And the argument is, from the TBL details, title IDFK, the argument is equals to 3. So let's collapse that. So on the TBL student details IDFK, title IDFK, which is, have I put this already or not? I've got the name. I've got the name, I've got the mobile number, I've got the email address. I didn't put that because I don't want to display that. So I need to basically go here and add the title ID FK, and I'm going to make sure that it's not going to be displayed because this part of my query design is not displayed. And here on the criteria, you can see if I move a bit to the left so you can actually see the criteria. So this is my criteria section here. I'm just going to put equals 2, 3. Okay. So because I'm not displaying this, let's maximize this now. Also, I need to set up the order to ascending based on the TBL student details name. So if I go and find the TBL student details name, I'm just going to select here sort, and I'm going to set this to ascending because this is exactly what I specify on my query design. So let's maximize this. I'm just going to save this query, and I'm going to save the query. Let's go back to my query design. And this is the name of my query. I'm just going to Control-C to copy this and Control-V to paste. Make sure you don't have any spaces. Let's click OK. All right. So if I execute this query, so I'm going to click Run. The TBL tables is already open. Okay. Let's click OK. Let's close this table, sorry. Let's try again. If I go to the query design and click on Run. Okay. Got Jenny and Simon. Both queries are Miss. Let's go back to the design view. Let's display the title IDFK so you can see why we don't really need this. The title IDFK is 3 here, okay? This will cause a confusion to the end user, so we don't want to confuse people. So that's why we want this to not to be displayed, basically. Also, we want to move the Miss, the title, in the very beginning, at the very beginning as well of displaying the data. So let's go back to the design view. I'm just going to hide this argument. So I need this here to create my argument, but I don't have to display it. Also, I'm going to highlight here the name, the title name, and now I'm going to basically click and drag this to the left-hand side. Okay, so the title will come as the first column. So I'm going to click Run. Now I've got Miss Jenny, the mobile number, followed by the email address, followed by the notes. So now I have created my first query. I can click Save and then close it. So in the future, it will be very quick. If somebody wants to find out how many students we have with the title Miss, we can double click here and we can actually very quickly and easily display this data. Okay. Now we have done this. Let's move this to the side. Let's move on to our next query design. So my next query is going to be basically pretty much the same query, okay? But I want to find all the students where the title is Mr. So I'm just going to highlight and copy all this. Scroll down. Right, highlight all this, Control-V to paste. Let's Control-Enter to add the new query on the new page. So I've got my query design for QRY Miss students. And I'm going to put here Mr. students. This query will use the TBL title and the TBL student details, and it will search through to find all records that match the query condition. Now the query condition, I just need to change that to, I need first of all to find out which ID is the Mr. ID, so it's the ID number 1. So we'll say equals to 1. And I'm going to display the same attributes here, that's okay. So let's close this. So I'm going to go to File and select Save. Okay, if you cannot see Save, I'm just going to Control-S to save. Okay, now let's go to Create. I'm going to select Query Design. I'm going to click and drag, or you can click and drag, or you can just double click. Okay, let's resize a little bit. Just resize it so you can display all the data. And also I need the student details. Let's increase the size so we can display all the data. Make it easier. Okay, let's collapse this one now. All right, so what we need to find now, we need again from the TBL student details, we need the name. We also need the mobile number. We need the email address, and we need the notes. And from the TBL title, we need the name. I'm going to double click here. Okay. We also need to display the title IDFK. Let's exit that. Let's maximize this. I'm going to hide this title IDFK as I did before. And here I'm going to put equals 1 because this is my argument on my query design. I'm going to run this query. Okay, and now I can actually see that Mr. is all the students where the title is Mr. Okay, so what I need to do, let's go back to the design view. Let's highlight this column, and then I'm going to click and drag it to be my first column again. And now I'm going to click here to save it. I'm going to go back to my query design, and I'm going to copy the name. And then Control V to paste. Again, make sure you don't have any spaces. Click OK and exit this. So now I've got two queries created already. So very quickly and easily, if somebody wants to find out all the students where the title is Mr., they can double click here and they can actually see all the students. If somebody wants to find out all the students where with the title Miss, they can double click here and they can see all the titles Miss. So you can actually create as many queries as you like, or you can modify the query to actually display different title. Okay, now I've done this. Let's create something different now. So I'm just gonna put my database again on the left hand side, and I'm gonna move on to my new query. Okay, let's think of something that it's going to be useful again. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a new query. My new query will be QRY. I'm going to start again with QRY assessors course schedule. So I've got the course schedule details here. So I need, on this table, I have, let's go here, let's go to design view. On this table, I've got 4 foreign keys here. Sorry, 4 foreign keys. I've got the assessor's IDFK, I've got the course IDFK, the venue IDFK, and the student IDFK. So basically, I don't want to display the IDs because the IDs doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, or to the end user. So we need to make it user friendly so people can actually see who the person is, or who is the assessor, or which one is the course and which one is the venue. Okay, instead of the ID. So here I will say this query will use, let's delete all that. This query will use and now I'm going to put TBL course schedule details, comma TBL. I'm going to use quite a few tables here. TBL course details, TBL which one's the foreign keys, venue details. Then I will use, I've got schedule, TBL assessor, did I put assessor, yeah, assessor details. Always keep checking the actual table name so you have the table name correctly, spelled correctly. Okay. And I need the student TBL. In fact, yeah, let's put TBL student. Did I spell it right? Yeah, details. I'm just checking if I put students, that's all. If I need to add an S. Okay, so I've got, I need the TBL course schedule details. I need the TBL course details. That's good. I need the venue details, the assessor details, and the student details. Okay, that's good. So here is my argument. So I will use the TBL course schedule details dot date. So I need the date here, and then I'm gonna say is greater than or equals to now. So current date. Open, close parentheses. Okay. Let's press the enter key. So that's my argument. So basically I need to find all the assessors course schedule, okay, all the assessors basically where the course schedule is greater than the current date, so basically days in the future or today's date. All right, so here I need, let's put here, I need the on the course schedule details, I'm gonna copy and paste that dot. I need the name of the course schedule. I also need the date of the course schedule. Let's put course details. So for the course details table, I just need the name. And for the assessor, for the venue, I need the name as well. And for the assessor details, I need the name of the assessor. And for the students details, in fact, I don't really need, I'm not bothered about the students here. So let's remove that. So this is to do with the assessors and what they have been scheduled, so I don't really need the student here. Okay, now these records need to be sorted into, right, so I'm just gonna remove that. So let's set it, say ascending order, okay, based on let's say schedule details date. So I'm gonna copy that and paste it here. Okay, let's change the paragraph to left align. Okay, that's better. Let's change the font color to black. Okay, we'll have black there as well. That's great. Okay, so Control S to save. So that's my query design. Let's implement this query now. So let's close this query here, this table. So I'm going to go to create. I'm going to select query design. So I need quite a few tables here. I need the course schedule. Okay, I'm going to double click. I need the course details. I need the venue details table. Did I add that? Venue details, yeah. And I need the assessor details. Okay. Let's collapse this. Let's spread this a bit. So I need the course schedule details name and date. So let's maximize this. Let's move this to, let's scroll up a bit. Make it easy for most to see. Let's increase the height so we can actually display all the records, all the attributes. Okay. let's put this as the first table, okay, because if we go, let's downscale that. The first one is this course schedule, and then we have the course, then we have the venue, and then we have the assessor. Then we have the course, then we have the venue, and then we have the assessor. Okay, so from the course schedule, we need the name and the date. So double click on the name and double click on the date. Now, let me show you another way to do that. So I'm going to delete this. So we can actually here from the drop down list, we can select the course schedule. Can you see that? So sometimes it's hard to actually read the section. Okay. So that's why it is important it's easier for us to actually double click it, or you can just click and drag. So I'm just clicking and dragging this here. And the date, I'm going to click and drag the date here. Okay. But I found double clicking a lot easier. Let's collapse that one. Okay. So I've sorted now the course schedule details and table, so I don't really need this. I could actually hide this now. Remove table. Now, if I remove the table, as you can see, the information is gone. So let's bring this up. I'm going to go to show table, course schedule. Let's double click on the name and on the date. The next one is the course details name. So the name of the course details. Let's collapse that. The next one is the venue name. Let's use the scroll bar here. And finally, I need the name of the assessor. Okay. So I need to set up based on the course schedule details, based on ascending order. So on the date, I'm going to click drop down the list. I'm going to select ascending order. And my argument is on the course schedule details date, which is here. Yeah, if you cannot see the whole text, you can click and drag to increase the width a little bit so you can see it. So this is my criteria here. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. So greater than or equals to now, the current date. Okay, so let's save this. I'm gonna double click here to highlight the title that I gave to this query. I'm gonna Control V to paste, make sure you don't have any spaces. Click OK. Let's maximize this. Now if I run the query, I can actually see the course schedule date based on the name. So that's December to February. That's the date this course is starting. This is the course title. This is the venue name. And this is the assessor name. So Alex is responsible to deliver food hygiene, okay, for businesses. Thameside Arena, okay. And the course starts in December and finishes in February 2024. So let's close that. So in the future, if the manager needs to see who is scheduled for a particular course, they can double click here on this query and they can see all this data very quickly and easily. All right, by following the same process, let's downscale this. We're going to create a couple more queries to make the database a bit more user-friendly. Okay. The next query we are going to create, it's going to be find assessor with schedule details. Okay, find assessor with schedule details. So I'm just going to remove that. I'm just going to say QRY again. Find assessor with schedule details. The query will use now we need to point the actual tables. So the first table I need to use is the TBL course schedule details, comma, TBL TBL course details and TBL assessor details. I'm just going to leave these tables. Okay, this query will use the TBL and these tables, and this query. Okay, let's reword that. Let's search the following. Okay, let's remove that. Let's put this. Okay, tables, and it will search through to find the assessor that match the query conditions. So in fact, what we can do here, conditions. Let's put full stop here. All right. So now I have to specify my argument, my query argument. So I will say TBL assessor, assessor details dot the name of the assessor, and then in square brackets, I'm gonna put please type the assessor's name. So this query argument will basically generate a search box where the users will be able to type the name of the assessor, and then they will retrieve all the data. So let's say the data I need, let's remove that. So I need the TBL course schedule details dot, I need the name of the course schedule details. Let's copy that, paste. If you copy and paste, you're gonna make sure that you don't make any silly mistakes. So let's copy that. So just make sure that you have named the table correctly. Schedule D, can you see here is not right. Details. So just focus on one table here, and then basically copy and paste it. So you're gonna avoid basically spelling mistakes. I need the date here. Let's go to the course details. Yeah, that's spelled all right. So I'm gonna put that there, Control V to paste. Just need the name of this, on the name of the course details. And the TBL assessor details. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And again, I just need the name. These records will need to be sorted into, let's say, descending order this time. Okay, descending order of, let's put, the schedule date. Control C to copy. Let's replace that, Control V to paste. Let's set the paragraph to left align. Let's highlight all the text, make sure it's black. All right. Again, the tables, we can make them stand out a bit to make it easier to know this is the table, followed by the attribute. So that's the table, followed by the attribute. That's my table name. I'm doing Control B to make it bold. And that one is the last one here. So anything to do with tables, just make them bold so they can stand out, followed by the attribute. Okay, so Control S to save it. So let's generate a query here. We're going to go to create, query design, and we need here, oops, it's because I've selected query here, that's why. So make sure you select the table, any of the tables. So create, query design, so I can see all my tables here. If I select my any of my queries, let me show you again. If any of my queries selected, I go to create and select query design. Is only display the queries here. Okay. Now you can close that, and then you can actually go through the create again, or you can just click on the tables here to display the tables, because we just need the tables here. So TBL course schedule details, so I'm going to double click that. TBL course details, I'm going to double click that. And TBL assessor, I'm going to double click that. So I've got all my tables in place. Let's move them side by side. Let's increase the height so I don't have the scroll bar here. So because I finished with this, I can close that. Again, it doesn't really matter which order you're gonna have that. So whatever make it easier for you. So now we need to display the course schedule details name. So course schedule details, let's increase the width so we can see the name. So we need the name, double click on the name, and the date, double click on the date. Now for the course details, we just need the name. And for the assessor details, we just need the name as well. Now our argument is on TBL assessor details name, TBL assessor details name. So I need to copy and paste my argument here on the argument criteria. Copy that. So that's my criteria here. I'm going to Control V to paste. So again, you can increase the width so you can actually see the full argument. I'm just gonna click save. I'm going to copy the title of my query and paste it here. Click OK. Let's maximize this. And let's close this query. So if I go now and let's assessor course schedule. So if I double click this, okay, I can actually see all the courses. Now, if I go to the find an assessor now, so I've got an assessor called Anna, Vicky, and Alex. I've got some more assessors. Let's pick up David. Let's say David. So if I double click on my QRY find assessor, a prompt now to enter the parameter. Please type the assessor's name. I'm just going to put here David. So it's not case sensitive either. So you can put in lowercase, it doesn't really matter. It will still return the correct value. So as you can see here, I've got the name David is the assessor, and the course details is health and safety, and this is the date of the course, schedule date, and starts in September and finishes in November. So if I close this now, let's click yes, and I double click here, and I type Anna. So I can see now where Anna is scheduled. Okay, so that's another good and useful query. Okay, let's collapse that. Let's do one more query here. So our final query let's talk about some numbers now. We're going to talk about money. Okay, so let's highlight this, and our final query, let's put QRY, will be venues cost less venue cost less than, let's put £1,600. This query will use the following tables. So let's put here TBL venue details. So let's put table. So he's only using one table. And it will search. Let's delete all the other stuff here. And it will search through to find the records that match the following condition. And the condition is, let's specify the table name. So again, let's make sure that we have the right name, TBL venue details. We have here TBL venue details. Let's make it bold as well. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And I'm just gonna put here dot. So we're looking for the cost, and we're looking for the cost that is less than £1,600. And the fields needs to be displayed for the records found. Let's delete that. Let's say TBL venue details dot the name. Oops. The name. TBL venue details dot the cost, and TBL venue details dot mobile number. So we can actually contact them to see if they can give us, if we can actually make arrangements to make a new booking, let's say, for instance. So let's make this, remove the boldness of this. Okay. So the records needs to be sorted into, let's say, descending order again. Of the cost. Let's select the cost. Let's remove all these instructions here. Let's make this black. Let's Control S to save. So I've got all my queries in place. I just need to create my final query now. So my query designs look good, and I already implement them. So now I need to create a new query. I'm just going to select the tables first. Go create query design. Let's collapse this. So I just need the TBL venue details. I'm just going to double click here, and I need to display the name, the cost, and the mobile number. And for the criteria, for the cost criteria, I need to put less than £1,600. And I need to set the order to descending order. Let's set to descending order. Okay, let's maximize this. Let's save this. Oops. Let's go back to my query design to see the name. Okay, that's the name. Let's highlight this. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Okay, so let's save this. Let's close it. Now, if I want to find out all the venues cost less than £1,600, I can double click this, and I can actually see all these venues. Now, if I want to change my query, so if I right click here, I can select design view, or with the query selected, I can go to the home tab and then click design view, and I can actually say cost greater than, so more than £1,600. I click run. I can see now the most expensive venues. Now, the final thing I need to show you, so you can actually see why the query designs are created like that. It's because it doesn't really matter what relational database you are using. The query structure is exactly the same. So it doesn't matter if you use Microsoft Access, MySQL, SQL Server, or Oracle, or any other database. If you go to the View menu, you have Dataset View and Design View. One of the views that we have not checked is the SQL view. If we click on the SQL view, you will be able to actually see we're selecting from the venue details dot, so that's the name of the table, followed by the attribute, comma, followed by the same table, followed by the attribute, followed by the table name, followed by the attribute. Can you see now the relevance of my query designs, how I structure it? Okay? Then we're selecting all these attributes from this table. Okay, that's the table. Where is the condition, our query condition? TBL venue details dot cost is greater than £1,600. And we order by TBL venue details cost based on a descending order. Okay. Now, Microsoft Access make things a bit more fancy and complicated here. Okay. So to avoid people using queries, creating queries in Design View, and then copy the queries and paste them on Oracle or any other database. So what I'm trying to say here is if you copy and paste this query into another database, your query will not work. However, let's remove these brackets here. If we remove the brackets from here, however, and we click run, it will work fine, just fine. So just Microsoft basically adding this extra brackets there to basically confuse the other vendors of databases to ensure that people don't use Microsoft Access, and then move the data over to another vendor. So they keep the vendor, basically. So the structure query language is pretty simple. You specify, you're selecting, the first value is select. So we're selecting the attributes, but we have to specify where the attributes coming from, which table. Then we say from, then we say where, so the where condition is our argument, okay? And then we specify the order, if it's ascending or descending. Let's close this query, let's save it. Okay, I hope you learned something new today. I hope you will be able to actually create your query designs and implement your query designs onto your database. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.